प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं। श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्यजलप्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिद श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्तिविग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धापसिद्धान्तद्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपः स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यां नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतौ पंगुर्मम मन्देर्मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्यद्वृन्दारण्यं कल्पाद्रुमाध श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधां शीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिभि सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि। श्रीमान् राससारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनिर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रियेस्तुनः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So let us chant the 27 verses. Out of that, 5 we had chanted. Next 5 we'll try to chant. So from the beginning we'll try to chant the verses. 27 important verses of Bhagavad Gita. Dhritarashtravacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samavetaayutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kima Kurvata Sanjaya. Again we'll do together. Dhritarashtravacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samavetaayutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kima Kurvata Sanjaya. Every verse will do 2 times. Karpanya doshopahata swabhavah pruchhami tvam dharma sammudhacheta yashreyasyaat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Try to chant. Karpanya doshopahata swabhavah pruchhami tvam dharma sammudhacheta यश्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शादिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु न गतासुंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु न गतासुंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः। देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति। देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति। मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्यः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्यः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भू मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भू मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गा सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गा सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिर्भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिर्भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति श्रीभगवानुवाच कामयेष क्रोधयेष रजोगुणसमुद्भवः महाशनो महापाप्मा विद्धेनाम् इह वैरिणम् श्रीभगवानुवाच कामयेष क्रोधयेष रजोगुणसमुद्भवः महाशनो महापाप्मा विद्धेनाम् इह वैरिणम्. I think 10 are done. 10 verses are done. Just see. From here we'll do next time. Yada yada dharmasya. Okay. So we saw last time how Krishna is equal to everyone. He is Bhaktavatsala. He thinks of the benefit of everybody. He thinks of the benefit of the devotees as well as those who are not surrendered to him. So killed by Krishna, cared by Krishna, both are on the same platform. Krishna is caring the Pandavas, then Krishna is caring the Kauravas also. That is how Krishna is showing to Arjuna. See, all your family members are assembled here. By that showing, he actually has removed their pranas. But when Arjuna saw his own people, Kripaya Paraya Vishtu Vishidantam Idam Brabhi, when he saw his own people and different grades of friends and relatives, he was overwhelmed with compassion and thus spoke as follows. So here Paraya Vishtu, Aparayaha Vishta. Aparayaha Vishta refers to one naturally feels compassion when he sees his own people. But when a person sees, when Arjuna saw Aparayaha Vishta, those who are so envious to him, and the family members who are standing on the opposite side, Aparaya, even then he was having compassion because Arjuna is a devotee, and this is a natural quality of a devotee. When he sees others suffering, he automatically feels the suffering. Paradukhi dukhi is the natural quality of a devotee. It is very easy to show compassion to his own army, but when it comes to showing the compassion to the members on the opposite side, there also Arjuna is feeling compassionate, and Arjuna is lamenting, and then speaks to Krishna. From 28th verse, we'll try to do 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. We'll try to cover today. So 28, 29, 30. In these three verses, the state of Arjuna has been given, the depression, how Arjuna is in depression after seeing his own family members standing on the other side, having the fighting spirit. And in this way, when he sees his own family members and relatives present on the opposite side with so much of fighting spirit, he is having so much of compassion, and in that he is speaking because he is now in depression. So depression signs of Arjuna has been spoken in 28, 29, 30 verse. Arjuna uvacha drishtve swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupastitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishusyati. Arjuna uvacha drishtve swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupastitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishusyati. So Arjuna says, Drishtva imam swajanam, oh my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me, yutsum samupasthitam, in such a fighting spirit they are present. After seeing that, my limbs are quivering. Sidanti mama gatrani, my limbs are quivering. And then mukham cha parishusyati, and the mouth is drying up. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada begins with the natural quality or the good quality of a devotee. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunis tatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahi. This verse has been put in this purport. 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse from Bhagavatam. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. Whoever has akinchana devotion for Krishna. What is the meaning of akinchana devotion? Unmotivated, undeviated love for Krishna. There are no personal motives. The only desire is to please Krishna. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. Akinchana devotion he has for Krishna. Sarvair gunais tatra samasate sura. He has all the wonderful qualities of Nitya Suris, the eternal demigods who are assisting Krishna in his personal abode. So, Nitya Suris. There are suras. Suras means demigods in this material world also. But here, the qualities of Nitya Suris. Nitya Suris means the eternal demigods who are assisting Krishna in his pastimes. So, a person who has unflinching love for Krishna, he automatically has these wonderful qualities. But what is the use of having material gunas? Harava bhaktasya. What is the use of a person having material wonderful gunas, wonderful material gunas, but he is not a devotee of Krishna? He does not accept Krishna. He does not surrender to Krishna. Then whatever good qualities he may have, that is of no use. Manorathena sati dhavato bahi. Manorathena sati dhavato bahi. Because he is always seated on the chariot of his mind. That means whatever comes to the mind, he does. Sometimes he may do very good activity because his expectation of so much of name and fame. And if he does not get to the expectation, he may reject everything. So in this way, the characteristics of a pure devotee has been given. So Arjuna, what is the difference between Arjuna and Dhritarashtra? When Dhritarashtra spoke, what did he say? Mamakaha Pandavahas My sons and Pandu's sons have assembled to fight. And what is the word of Arjuna? He says, Swajanam Krishna yutsum samupastitam drishtve swajanam. He is calling everybody Swajanam. Even the people who are standing on the opposite side, his relatives and friends who are standing on the opposite side, he considers them also his own. This is the proof that Arjuna is not in ignorance. He has been intentionally put in ignorance. And in this way, when Krishna desires that dharma should be established and he wants Arjuna to fight, it appears that Arjuna, under illusion, is not accepting this instruction of Krishna. He thinks that his duty to fight is against the religious principles. But actually, the merciful Lord of all the beings, he wants to deliver the whole universe. And how he wants to deliver the whole universe? Through the instructions to his dear associate. So it is the plan of Krishna to intentionally put Arjuna in illusion. And in this way, he wants to give the most transcendental instruction, that is Bhagavad Gita, to all the conditioned souls. Arjuna is just a nimitta matra. He is just a nimitta matra. And in this way, Lord is giving these instructions to all of us through his dear associate. So in this way, Arjuna is intentionally put in illusion. He is not in Ajnana. Dhritarashtra is in Ajnana. That is why he says Mamakaha Pandavaha. But Arjuna says Swajanam. He does not have any distinction between friend or enemy. Like Prahlad Maharaj never showed such distinction. In fact, he tells to his teacher, why are you teaching like this? This is my friend, that is enemy, that person is enemy. This type of distinction is not good, because everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta salatana. Everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. That is why one who is Panditaha, how is he? He is Samaha. One who is Pandita, one who is in knowledge. He sees everybody on the equal platform. Panditaha Samadarshinaha. So he sees everybody on the equal platform. That means everybody is servant of Krishna. So Arjuna has all the wonderful qualities. He was overwhelmed by compassion when he saw so many people are eager to fight. So to his soldiers, anyhow, he was sympathetic from the beginning. But being sympathetic even to the people who are on the opposite side, seeing the soldiers on the opposite side and being sympathetic, that can be only done by a devotee. That is why he has a soft heart. It is said the softness in the heart is there for the devotee. That is why his body was curing, his limbs were curing. And he was astonished to see their fighting spirit, because the whole community, all the blood relatives of Arjuna had come there to fight with him. So it is said that is why he was also crying out of compassion. So here the characteristic of a pure devotee has been given, that it is not just weakness of the heart, it is actually the softness of the heart. That is why he is not able to see how much fighting spirit my own people are having. My own relatives and friends are having so much of fighting spirit. That is why his hands are shaking, mouth is drying. And then he says, Vepatuscha sharire me romaharshascha jayate gandivam samsate hasta tvakchaiva paridhyate. 29th verse. Vepatuscha sharire me romaharshascha jayate gandivam samsate hasta tvakchaiva paridhyate. Then he says, oh Lord, my whole body is trembling. Vepatuscha sharire me romaharshascha jayate. My hair is standing on the end. The bow, Gandiva, is slipping. And in this way, Gandiva is slipping from my hand. My skin is burning. So, Vepatuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate gandivam samsate hasta tvakchaiva paridhyate. So, 29th verse of the first chapter states, here Arjuna says, oh Lord, I'm not able to see my own people having so much of fighting spirit. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on the end. And my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand. So So in the previous verse, in the 28th verse, the soft heart of Arjuna has been described. But in this verse, Arjuna is afflicted by a disease known as weakness. So weakness of heart has been given. It is not soft-heartedness now. In 28th verse, it was soft-heartedness because he had compassion even to the people standing on the opposite side. But in 29th verse, we can see that the weakness of heart has been spoken. How we should understand this? In the previous verse, we could understand because he is having compassion even to the people standing on the opposite side. But here it is weakness, but not the strength. It is weakness. Because overly compassion, overly attachment to anyone, attachment leads to expectation, expectation leads to lamentation, and then frustration. And because of frustration, then a person forgets his duty. Now, Gandiva slipping from the hand means he is forgetting his duty. Like if the father is a very good doctor, he's a surgeon, very famous surgeon. But when he sees his own son on the lying on the operation table, then his hand starts trembling. He's not able to hold the scissor. That means overly attachment is not allowing him to do his duty. That is how here Gandiva, which is actually the real astra, is his astra, he is not able to hold it. That means he's not able to fight. He cannot do his duties. That is how we can understand that this verse is actually weakness of the heart. Why the surgeon could not operate his own son? Because of the weakness of the heart. But now here, Arjuna is also not able to hold Gandiva because of the weakness of the heart. There's a nice story behind this. Arjuna had taken a vow. Many times he takes a vow without consulting Krishna. Now he took a vow. And what was that vow? That if anybody speaks anything about Gandiva, he will kill him. So like that vow he had taken. And it so happened, one of the days of this war was going on. Yudhishthira immediately left the war and went to his palace. And went to the tent where he was staying. Then Arjuna also followed him. Then Yudhishthira was shocked to see Arjuna. He said, "Why did you leave the battlefield and come? I came for some other purpose. Why did you leave? I left the war on your that you will take care of the war. So I had a faith. On that faith, I left the war and came. But why is it that you left the battlefield and came?" In this way, Yudhishthira asked, "What is the use of you having Gandiva? Keep it down. Then throw it away." Like this, Yudhishthira told. Immediately Krishna appeared there. And Krishna told, "Hey Arjuna, you had taken some vow that if anybody speaks anything about your Gandiva, you'll kill him." Arjuna could not say anything because it is his own brother who spoke about Gandiva. What is the use of this Gandiva? Throw it away. So Arjuna could not speak anything. So Arjuna was just quiet. That's why Krishna says, anytime you take some vow, just consult to me. So that much he had pride with his own Gandiva. But now the same Gandiva, onto whom he was having so much of pride, now it started slipping from his hand and his skin is burning. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, there are two types of trembling. Sometimes out of ecstasy also a person trembles. But this is not an ecstatic trembling. This trembling clearly shows the weakness of heart. So there is no fear in transcendental realization. When there is an ecstasy, there is no fear. But here, this is out of fear. And what is that fear? The loss of life. And he could see the consequences of the war. He could see that all his family members, relatives will be killed. That is why his heart was burning. And this is all due to the material conception of life. He clearly says that I don't have any desire to kill them, oh Lord. I'm not able to see them. I'm not able to see my own family members having so much of inclination to fight. So then So in this verse, it is not the softness, it is the weakness of the heart. So how to distinguish between softness and weakness? Weakness of the heart does not allow a person to perform his duty. And weakness arises out of overly attachment and so much of expectation. So weakness of a heart will not allow a person to perform the duty. Softness of the heart is for everybody. Softness of the heart is actually a wonderful quality of a devotee. He is equal to everyone. So in this way, he when somebody is in distress, then he also feels the distress, irrespective of whether that person is in favor of him or is not in favor of him. That does not matter. That is how a devotee is equal to each and everybody. But weakness of the heart means he is not able to perform the duty. Then the 30th verse. Nacha shaknomyavasthatum brahmativa cha me manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Nacha shaknomyavasthatum brahmativa cha me manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न शक्नोमि अवस्थातु. शक्य नहीं है. I cannot do it. It's not possible for me. I am not able to stand here. My mind is reeling. I'm forgetting myself. These are all the depression signs. Generally, when somebody goes for the interview and is so much in anxiety, then he sometimes forgets his own name. Simple question may be asked. Hey, what is your name? He'll scratch his head and stand. Because he has forgotten his own name because of too much of anxiety what he has taken. When so much of anxiety is taken, then the person forgets himself. Now that is a condition of Arjuna. He says, I am not able to stand here. Brahmativa cha me manaha. My mind is completely reeling. Nimittani cha pashyami. I consider myself as the cause of all the misfortune. Nimitta. Nimitta means I consider myself. I am the cause of what? Viparitani. Viparitani means I am the cause of all the misfortune. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, because he was too much impatient, he was not able to stand in the battlefield and he was forgetting himself. This is because of excessive attachment. He was too much attached to his grandfather, his teacher, and other family members. That is why he could not perform his duty. Excessive attachment. And because of that, he is put in such a bewildering condition of material existence. And that is why he was in fear. Bhayam ditiya bhini veshataha syat. So bhayam ditiya. When a person is too much in material consciousness, he forgets that Krishna is there to protect him. Avashya rakshibe Krishna. But because he is too much in material consciousness, he forgets this small phrase, but which is having a lot of meaning. Avashya rakshibe Krishna. Krishna is there to protect. But for him, because he has forgotten Krishna, he has forgotten his relationship with Krishna, then there is a fear. Anything, any disturbances immediately causes fear in his heart. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place onto a person who is materially attached. So in this way, he says that I am able to see the reverse effects, all the painful reverses in the battlefield. So he says, what is the use of even becoming victorious in this battlefield? Because the consequences of the war is so horrible. I consider myself as a cause, nimitta, viparitani, because there will be all painful reverses. The result will be so painful. What is the use? Why should I be here? That means everybody is interested in himself. Srila Prabhupada writes, and his own welfare. Nobody is interested what is the desire of Supreme Self. Because this war was desired by Krishna. And here Arjuna, he is depicting a conditioned soul. Because intentionally Krishna wants him to speak like a conditioned soul. Though Arjuna is not conditioned, though Arjuna is not illusion, but Arjuna is put into illusion. That is why he speaks like a conditioned soul, because conditioned soul always thinks about his own welfare. He is not interested in thinking about Krishna's instructions, in thinking about how to fulfill Krishna's instructions. He is not having the desire to fulfill the desire of Krishna. So that is how Arjuna is showing the ignorance of his real self-interest. And in this way, but actual self-interest should be to follow what Krishna says. Our real self-interest lies in Vishnu. That means our interest should be to fulfill the desire of Krishna. Instead of that, he is only speaking of his own desire. That is how the conditioned soul forgets the will of Krishna, forgets the instruction of Krishna, and that is why suffers in this material world. And Arjuna also is speaking in the same way. That is how the illusory energy of Krishna made Arjuna speak. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would be the cause of lamentation for him. So now till here we saw 28, 29, 30th one, depression signs of Arjuna. Depression signs in Arjuna. Now 31st verse onwards, Arjuna is going to speak certain reasons for not fighting the war. He has given 5 reasons, out of which 4 reasons are there in this chapter. The last reason, the 5th reason, is there in the 2nd chapter. Now let us see the different reasons. When a person speaks, he speaks when he is predominantly in the mode of goodness, or in the mode of passion, or in the mode of ignorance. All the 3 modes are present in a human. Sometimes it may be, sometimes the goodness may be more. At that time, the speech also will come out in such a way. Sometimes passion is more. All the 3 gunas are present in a human. There is always a permutation combination of these gunas. It is not that only a person predominantly is in, only a person is in goodness. No, predominantly he may be in goodness. That means other gunas are also present. And so in goodness, he speaks the 31st verse. That is, he is not able to see his own people. Compassion for his own people. Compassion is a natural characteristic of a person who is in goodness. So 31st verse is out of compassion. 32, 35, 32, 33, 34, 35. Those verses, those reasons which Arjuna is giving for not fighting the war, they are in mode of passion. So enjoyment is the reason. With whom am I going to enjoy? Generally, passionate person is always inclined to enjoy. Show-off tendency is there in a passionate person. So this show-off tendency, with whom am I going to enjoy? If everybody is skilled, who is there? To whom am I going to show all these opulences? So 32 to 35 speaks on the reason based on enjoyment. And that is out of passion. That is, the reason is given out of passion. Then 36, 37, 38. 36, 37, 38. Third reason is I will be incurring sins. And if I incur sin, I have to go to hell then. So what is the use? So he says, the sins will overcome me if I fight with my own people. So 36, 37, 38. Again, it is spoken out of this. It's a mixture of passion and ignorance. There's a passion is also there. The desire to have heavenly abode, and ignorance is also there. What is that ignorance? Thinking that all these family members are mine and I will be incurring sin and all these things. It's a combination of passion and ignorance. Then again 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Till 45th verse, the family tradition will be destroyed. Again, this is also a reason on passion and ignorance again. This is my family. These are my family traditions. That is ignorance. Aham mama iti ajnanam. That is ignorance. And passion is the whole family tradition will be destroyed. What will happen? So in this way, these are certain reasons given. And the last reason, which is there in the second chapter, that is completely in ignorance. So let us see the 31st verse. 31st verse speaks about compassion, which is a natural characteristic for a devotee. So here Arjuna says, Nacha shreyonupashyami hatva swajanamahave na kangshe vijayam krishna nacha rajyam sukhani cha nacha shreyonupashyami hatva swajanamahave na kangshe vijayam krishna nacha rajyam sukhani cha. Nacha shreyo anubhashyami. Oh Krishna, you are asking me to fight, but I don't see anything good. What good result I am going to get? Then Krishna says, you will get name, fame, wealth, kingdom, everything. But he says, I don't want anything. And that too by killing my own people. Hatva swajanamahave. By killing my own people, you are asking me to enjoy this name, fame, and the kingdom and the wealth. I don't want nakangshe. I do not desire any victory, vijayam. Oh Krishna, nacha rajyam sukhanicha. I don't want any rajya. I don't want any sukha. I don't want any kingdom. I don't want any happiness on the cost of killing my own people. Swajanam mahave. Then Krishna says, a person who dies in the battlefield, facing the enemy, he attains the sun planet. It is said in the Shastras, in the Parashara Smriti, it is said, Dvavimau Purushau Loke Surya Mandala Bhedinau Parivrada Yoga Yuktascha Rane Chabhi Mukhe Hataha. A sannyasi engaged in yoga attains sun planet. And then a warrior who dies facing the enemy, he also attains the sun planet. But then Arjuna says, that is when he is killed, that is beneficial. But you are asking me to kill my own relatives. That is not beneficial for me. Having killed in the warfare, that is okay. But you are asking me to kill my own people, and I am not able to do that. I don't see anything good. That means everybody is interested in his own self-interest. Srila Prabhupada writes in this. Everybody is interested in his own self-interest, but real self-interest is in Vishnu. Everybody is trying to become happy, but real happiness lies in serving Krishna. If we serve Krishna, automatically we are happy. But we are forgetting this. That is why in the blind conception of our life, what we are doing, we are forgetting even the causes of material happiness. Krishna is showing him even material happiness, that you can go to the sun globe. That means you are going to get higher planets. But because of overly attachment, he is forgetting even the material benefits. A person who is overly attached in the material conception of life, he forgets he does not get the material benefits also, what to speak of spiritual benefit. Even he forgets the real duty as a Kshatriya. Now Arjuna is a Kshatriya. Shatrayatehe Kshatriya. Kshatriya means one who should protect others from suffering. Shatrayate. Shat means harm. Trayate means to remove. His work is to remove all the harmful things. That means his work is to establish dharma. And if a warrior, if a Kshatriya dies in the battlefield, then he attains the sun globe. And Krishna is telling, at least you will get the heavenly planet. Think about that. But because of the overly attachment, because of the illusion, he is not able to even think about it. And then it is said, one who is serving Krishna, one who serves Krishna, automatically he becomes happy. But one who does not serve Krishna, he is bereft of even material happiness also. And it is said here, Arjuna says, I do not want anything. Better I go to the forest and beg. It is said, if a person is not, if he is not hungry, then he does not want to cook also. In the same way, by killing his kinsman, there will be no happiness. That is why he does not want to fight. But he is known as Parantapa. Parantapa means one who conquers the enemies. Before this fight, Arjuna had fought many battles and he had won over many enemies. But these enemies were special enemies, and that is his own people. That is why Arjuna is reluctant to fight. And he just wants to go to the forest and live a life of frustration. He is forgetting his duty, but he is known as Parantapa. Parantapa means one who is unconquerable. But because here they are his own people, his own family members are standing. That is why he is forgetting his duty as a Kshatriya. Because the compassion has empowered his heart. Because of the compassion, he is not able to perform his duty, and he says, my own people are standing, I don't want anything. Generally, good people, they don't want any material things. It seems that he does not want any material benefits, but actually he is self-interested. And what is that self-interest? He does not want to take this dukha, because he feels if everybody are dead, then I will be the most unhappiest person. That means he's only thinking about his own self-interest. That is why it seems that he is giving up all the material benefits and is ready to go to the forest to beg and live a secluded life. But again, this type of renunciation is also having motives. And what is that motive? It is not to serve Krishna. The motive is his own desire, his own self-interest, because he does not want to fight. That is why he is giving up everything and he wants to go to the forest. But real motive should be to fulfill Krishna's motives. What is Krishna's intentions? That should be the purpose of our life. The goal of our life should be to serve Krishna. If we forget this goal, then we try to fulfill various goals. Sometimes the goals seem to be the gross things, accumulation of the gross things. And sometimes the goal may be to renounce everything and go somewhere and be secluded. But again, both are having the self-interest. One may be accumulation of gross things. One may be to give up everything and renounce everything in desire of higher planetary system. But when a person forgets his duty, what is the duty? The duty is to fulfill Krishna's desire. That is the real duty, not just as a Kshatriya. Even Duryodhana is also a Kshatriya. But Krishna did not encourage Duryodhana to fight. But Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight, because Arjuna is Kshatriya as well as he is devotee of Krishna. By his Kshatriya dharma, he is going to establish religious principles which Krishna desires. So there is a lot of difference between Duryodhana being a Kshatriya and Arjuna being a Kshatriya. Krishna desires Arjuna to fight. He wanted Arjuna to fight. He desired Arjuna to perform his religious duties. That is his dharma, that is Kshatriya dharma, to establish the religious principles. The real principle is to satisfy Krishna. The real religious principle is to satisfy Krishna. Varnashrama achritaha purushena parapraman Vishnu aradyate pantaha nanattattoshakaram. There is no other material desire. The real purpose of performing all the Varnashrama, the duties of Varnashrama, is to satisfy Krishna. So here in the first verse, it seems, in the first reason, it seems that he is speaking out of goodness. Oh, I cannot see my people. I don't want anything. Let me go to the forest. In 32 to 35, he gives reasons based on passion. Let us see. Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogair jibitena va, yesha marthe kankshitam no, rajyam bhoga sukhani cha. Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogair jibitena va, yesha marthe kankshitam no, Rajyam bhoga sukhani cha. Kim. What is the use? What is the use of this kingdom, O Govinda? Now see here in this verse, in these verses 32 to 35, Krishna is addressed in different ways. Krishna is addressed as Govinda, Krishna is addressed as Madhusudanaha, Krishna is addressed as Janardhan. When Krishna is addressed in a different ways, that signifies that verse. Kim no rajyena, what is the use of this rajya, O Govinda? Kim bhogair jivitena va. What is the use of all these things? I'm not going to enjoy them. For whose purpose I am desiring this kingdom? Because everybody will be killed. Esham arthe kangshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhani cha. For whose sake am I fighting and am I trying to have this happiness and the kingdom? For whose sake? Because everybody will be killed in this war. And then here Krishna is addressed as Govinda. So he says, oh Krishna, go refers to cows, go refers to the senses. Krishna gives pleasure to the cows, pleasure to the senses, and also you are Govinda. That means you should know what is my desire. Because you are controller of my senses. Go. All my senses. You should know what I desire. In this way, he is asking Krishna, you know the functions of my senses because you are Govinda. You give pleasure to the senses. You know about the senses. Then you should know what I desire. So that is how a conditioned soul thinks, that Krishna should know what I desire, instead of thinking what Krishna desires. A conditioned soul is always thinking about his own material benefits. He always thinks about satisfying his own senses. But we forget, if Krishna's senses are satisfied, automatically our senses are satisfied. Like the reflection is beautiful if the body is kept very beautiful, then automatically the reflection is beautiful. It is not that Govinda is meant for satisfying our senses. In fact, we should try to satisfy Krishna's senses. And if we do that, it's not that Krishna is our order supplier. Oh, Krishna, I want this, you should supply. Then how much we'll ask? We don't know what to ask also. We may go on asking. But we have really forgotten how much Krishna has given without our asking also. We don't know also what are the things which are really required for us. And Krishna has given those things without our knowledge also. We don't know. Like we eat food, we don't know how it digests. Jatharagni has been given by Krishna in our stomach. So Krishna is present as Jatharagni. Now just see, Krishna has given us so many things and we are asking all stupid things. We think that we can ask some demand and Krishna has to fulfill the demand. If Krishna does not fulfill the demand, then we should go and ask somebody else. That means we consider Lord as only order supplier. We forget that Krishna has given us so many things without our knowledge. We study something and we remember. How we remember? How that intelligence Krishna has given, how memory Krishna has given, how our whole body is functioning, how this oxygen which we inhale, how it is carried to all the cells. We don't know also how wonderfully Krishna has designed our body. But still we are asking so many things because we have only limited knowledge. With that limited knowledge, we think these things are going to give me happiness. But Krishna knows what is the real thing which is going to give us happiness. That is how Krishna will only fulfill those things which we really want, not that whatever we ask, Krishna will give. Why should Krishna give whatever we ask? Because Krishna knows what is really essential for us. So in this way, Krishna actually satisfies the senses of every living entity as much as they deserve, not as much as they covet. So in this way, if one tries to serve the senses of Govinda without desiring one's own desires, without desiring to satisfy one's own desires, and by the mercy of Lord, all the desires of the living entity will be satisfied. If you water the root, then the whole plant is satisfied. In the same way, if you water, if you perform devotional service, you're getting everything. You don't have to ask anything. Everything is automatically provided by Krishna. One has to be obliged. One has to actually have the thank giving to Krishna. Oh Lord, without me asking how many things you are making, so wonderful arrangement you are giving to us. So in this way here, a typical calculation of a material-minded person has been shown by Arjuna. He only thinks about his own benefit. A typical material person, he only thinks about his own benefit, and he thinks and he says, Naime taime vastita yuddhe pranas tektva dhanani cha acharya pitarah putras tathaiva cha pitamaha matula shashura pautra shala sambandinastatha etanna hantumichhami ghnatopi madhusudana. Oh Lord, oh Madhusudana, your teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and all relatives are ready to give up their life and property, and they are standing before me. Tame avastitaha yuddhe, all are standing here. Pranas tektva, they are ready to give up their life. What to speak, only their life, they are ready to give up the dhana also. Now somebody may ask, what is the use of this fight? Then the answer can come, to accumulate dhana. But if prana is only not there, where is the question of accumulating dhana? The whole kingdom is going to be destroyed. 3 days before, my mother was telling that in December, if the war comes, then this virus will be completely gone. I said, yes, if people are only dead, then where is the use of virus? Just see. If the war is there, people all are dead. Where is the question of killing the virus? When I read this, I was remembering. Pranas tektvaha dhana. If the prana is only not there, where is the use of dhana? What is the use of dhana? And what is the use of kingdom also? The kingdom is also gone. And everybody are standing here. And they are ready to give up their life. They are ready to give their property. Then, when they are ready to give up everything, why are you asking me? I don't have any desire to kill them. They already are standing to be killed. But I don't have any desire to kill them. Oh, Madhusudana. Anyhow, you are very popular. You are popularly called as Madhusudana, the killer of the demon Madhu. But you have never killed your own grandfather. You have never killed your teacher. But you are asking me to kill my own teacher, my own grandfather. But you have never experienced such killing of Sandipani Muni, your teacher. You have never experienced killing your own grandfather, Ugrasena. But you are asking me to kill my own people. So in this way, Krishna, the name of Krishna, Arjuna is sarcastically addressing Krishna. Oh, Madhusudana, you are asking me to kill my own people. Already they are standing here without any desire for any wealth. But what is the use of me killing all the people? Because if all are killed, then to whom am I going to show these opulences after the victory? Even if everybody is killed and I get the whole kingdom, then to whom am I going to show this opulence? That is a typical calculation of material life. Whenever we buy some new things, generally we have this show-off tendency. If you wear a new dress, you will not wear a new dress when you are alone in the house. You will wear a new dress and go out or show to somebody or call somebody to the house and then show that this is my new dress. If nobody is praising you, yourself will start praising your own dress. So in this way, this is a typical calculation. That is show-off tendency. This is there in each and every one of us. We like to show off. But here, Arjuna is telling, if everybody is killed, to whom am I going to show off all these things? All these opulences which I am going to get? Then to whom am I going to show? Because all the relatives and friends will be killed. Then after the war, with whom am I going to share this enjoyment? So the second reason is enjoyment. With whom am I going to share this enjoyment if everybody is killed? So in this way, he does not want to fight. But what is real transcendental life? Srila Prabhupada writes that a devotee always satisfies the desire of Lord. If Lord willing, then he accepts all the opulences for the service of Lord. And if Lord is not willing, then he does not accept even a small thing. If Lord desires that he should have opulence, Kulashekara Alvar's writes in Mukundamala, if it is there in my prarabdha, then I will use it in your service. Sometimes we see the devotees have a lot of opulences. Then they can use it in Krishna's service. If Lord desires to give all opulences, take it and use it in Krishna's service. If Lord does not want to give anything, accept that also. So that is the real nature of a devotee. Now Arjuna, under the illusion, he is speaking because he is put by the illusory power of Krishna, he is put in illusion. And he is speaking like a conditioned soul. He says, what is the use of all this opulence? What is the use? Use in Krishna's service. But a conditioned soul thinks, oh, I have all the opulences, but I have no family members. Everybody are dead. What I am going to do with all these things? Use it in Krishna's service. That is how is a typical calculation of a material life, material-minded person. He does not know how to serve Krishna. And then he says, Api Trailokya Rajasya Heto Kimnu Mahi Krute Nihatya Dhartarashtranah Ka Priti Sya Janardana Api Trailokya Rajasya Heto Kimnu Mahi Krute Nihatya Dhartarashtrasya Ka Priti Sya Janardana. Krishna says, why don't you kill all the sons of Dhritarashtra? They have given you a lot of trouble. Then he says, no, I'm not going to kill. Nihatya. Even if I stand unarmed, even if they want to kill me, then let them kill. But I am not going to kill anybody. He says, even if I get 3 worlds in exchange, then still I am not going to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra. I am not prepared to fight with them in exchange of even 3 worlds. Sometimes you show some merits. Like Krishna may show some merit. See, if you fight, I'll give you 3 worlds. He said, I don't want this opulence of the 3 worlds also. Api Trailokya, even though if you give me the opulence of this 3 world, I don't want to fight with my own people, especially the sons of Dhritarashtra. Then Krishna says, the sons of Dhritarashtra have given you a lot of trouble, at least they should be killed. He says, if I kill Duryodhana and others, what type of peace we Pandavas will have? And it is not proper to kill my own brothers just for some temporary sukha. It is only going to give me hell, nothing else. Oh, Janardhana. Now, Janardhana. Arjuna is sarcastically calling Krishna as Janardhana. Janardhana, maintainer of people. What type of maintainer of people you are? You are actually encouraging me to fight. Jana plus Ardhana. Ardhana refers to destruction. You are asking me to destroy my own people. All the people here, Jana Ardhana, because Kshatriyas from all over the world had assembled in this Kurukshetra. Jana Ardhana. Instead of Jana Ardhana, you are Jana Ardhana. Jana Ardhana means maintainer of the people. People glorify you as Janardhana, Janardhana. What type of Janardhana you are? You are actually Jana Ardhana. You are asking me to kill my own people. You are asking for the destruction. Oh Janardhana, you are actually the destroyer of people. You are not maintainer of people. You are asking me to kill. Even if you give me in exchange the 3 planetary systems, I don't want. Nihatya. Nihatya. I don't want to kill Nihatya. By killing my own people, I am not going to get any pleasure. Ka priti. Nihatya. By killing my own people, ka priti. What type of pleasure am I going to get? What type of pleasure am I going to get by seeing my own brothers dead? So Duryodhana and all are my brothers. So you are asking me to kill my own people. I am not accepting that. Anyhow, you are Janardhana. You're destroyer of the people. People glorify you as maintainer, but you are actually destroyer of the people. But even if you kill, because you have appeared here to relieve the earth from the burden, even if you kill them, you are not going to incur any sin. So better is you only kill. You are Madhusudana, you are Janardhana, you are killer of the demons. If you consider all my brothers as demons, then you kill them. But I don't want to kill, because I don't want, I know that they have given me a lot of trouble, but I don't want any planetary systems, any happiness, any kingdom in exchange of killing my own brothers. So in this way, Arjuna is completely rejecting on the ground of enjoyment. Here the reason is given based on enjoyment. If somebody hears this first chapter, they may consider, oh, Arjuna was so nice. Arjuna's nature is so nice, he doesn't want to fight with anyone, especially even those people who are envious of him. This Krishna has polluted his mind. Somebody may think like that. If a person studies Bhagavad Gita alone and just reads the first chapter, he will not go to the second chapter at all. Because first chapter itself, he'll think, oh, so wonderful is Arjuna, he does not want to fight. In Russia, there was a court case that Bhagavad Gita is actually instigating a person to fight. Krishna is encouraging the fight. But then, actually, Krishna is establishing dharma. It is said, if you are pricked by a thorn, then another thorn should be used to remove that thorn. A needle is used to remove the thorn. If adharma is prevalent, if adharma was there in this earthly planet, the adharma is there, then Krishna uprooted that adharma by this fight. Because this fight has no enviousness. Instead, this fight was to establish dharma. When Krishna went as peace messenger to Duryodhana and just asked five villages, because for a Kshatriya, he should have a kingdom to sustain. Because the nature of a Kshatriya, the duty of a Kshatriya is to rule. He can rule a small kingdom or a big kingdom. It doesn't matter. So Krishna just asked 5 villages. For 5 Pandavas, 5 villages. But even that also was rejected. What to speak of 5 villages? Even a small place occupied by the tip of the nail was not given to these Pandavas. Such was the enviousness in the heart of Duryodhana. And Krishna wants to remove this enviousness. That is why this fight was very much essential. This war was very much essential to establish dharma. Dharmastu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma is based on 4 principles: compassion, truthfulness, purity, and austerity. If these 4 principles are not there, then dharma is completely destroyed. To establish dharma based on compassion, purity, austerity, and truthfulness, Krishna wanted this war to happen. Krishna intentionally puts Arjuna in illusion so that Krishna can give this highest knowledge, this transcendental knowledge to the whole world, especially to the Kali Yuga people who are conditioned in this material world because of the overly attachment to the body and body related people. People have forgotten the real duty. The real duty is to satisfy Krishna's senses. The real duty is to hear to the instructions of Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita is actually given for whom? That was a question asked by my spiritual master, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in the temple. He asked, Bhagavad Gita is given for whom? Somebody told Arjuna, somebody told all of us, somebody told mankind. Then my Guru Maharaj said, it is given for me. That should be the answer. Bhagavad Gita is given for me. That personal attachment should be there for Bhagavad Gita. So if until and unless we have attachment for Bhagavad Gita, we can never understand the instructions of Krishna. So in this way, second reason was given by Arjuna. Now, any questions you can ask? We have 15 minutes to end. Any questions?